What up? This is Andy. This is episode 3 of the Twin Flame game series. Okay, today is a little different. I'm going to talk about the Twin Flame teachers and the fuckery and how you can get scammed and get stuck, right? Because I did for like a few months. So at this point, you're going to be getting really obsessed with the teachers, and you're going to be watching all of them, right? And you're going to stumble upon New World All-Star, and you're like, oh snap, he's the #1 Twin Flame coach in the world, right? And you're like, I better watch him. I better watch all of it. I better get knowed up, right? And at this point, you're still very, very in your desperation, and you'll do anything, right? And so you just need some relief. So you're looking for shortcuts. And as you are listening to him, it sounds very appealing because he makes it sound like you could skip everything, right? You could skip a bunch of stuff. Healing, what are we doing? That's healing. You know, so, and you're like, well, shit. I mean, he is #1, so what's up? And so, and then he starts to talk shit about other Twin Flame coaches. So you start to get scared to listen to other people because he makes it seem like they're soulmates and it's only putting you in a loop and that they're all making you loop. And he's like, I'm sure they're nice enough people, but you know, and those are soulmates, guys. Those are soulmates, guys. So, and so you start to believe it because you're like, well, he's #1. He's #1. But as you start to level out and up, right, you start to see the bullshit and seeing it from a higher perspective because you're watching all this other content and there's patterns in everything. And so I'm like, okay, here's his hook, right? Because when he says he went through the dark night of the soul, right? He's saying he went through the dark night of the soul. Okay. So people call things differently. So he'll be like, it's not healing. It's not mother wound. It's not, inner child. It's not, traumas. It's not, it's the ego death. Yeah, no shit. Okay. Yeah. That's what ego death is. So he went through an ego death. So as he was going through his ego death and he was on the floor and he was crying, that was healing. Those were traumas. Those were inner child. Those were whatever you want to call it. He's just making a name for it and being all, it's spiritualism, guys. To make you think, oh shit, like, there's an easier way. Like, what am I doing all this extra stuff for? And here's the thing. You can't choose, when you're going through the dark night and ego death, you can't choose. You can't choose when the mother wound comes out. You can't choose because we all have different wounds, A, and B, they come in when they're coming. You got no choice. You got no time. I mean, they'll come in the middle of driving, they'll come whenever. And you don't get to choose what's coming out. Now, you can choose what you want to call it, sure. You can call it whatever you want. But in the end, it's the same thing. They're saying the same thing. All the teachers are just explaining it in their own way that they perceived it and was able to do it and get here, right? And the same thing that I'm doing. I got information from everybody and I put it in my own way that worked for me. But when I was stuck watching him, I realized like, okay, and he makes it sound like you don't have to do any, you only need to detach from your twin and you don't need to worry about anything else, right? But that's not the end goal. And the energy you're in right now, that you feel like it is. And so you're like, fuck it, I don't care if it's not the end goal. That's the only thing I want to relieve right now. And so you believe that. But as you get higher, you realize that all that stuff he was saying is it's all the same thing as however you want to label it. I can label it twerking, okay? Like when twerking comes out, like what the bro, no. So like don't get scared, because watch all the teachers, and certain ones are going to resonate. Like there would be like one person I'd watch, and like they're good with explaining the beginning of the journey, and so you get really stuck on them. And sometimes you'll watch somebody that's like further advanced into the, like they're talking about a year down the journey, and you're like, this person sucks. But then, like 6 months later, you go back to them, and then you resonate with them. And so, everybody, and here's the thing too. And here's why he's in his ego and the other teachers are not, right? Because the other teachers don't feel the need to bribe their clients to go on and give a testimony, right? That's ego. The other teachers don't feel the need to say why they're the #1 twin flame coach in the world. That's ego. Especially, where'd you get that from? Where'd you get, you just gave yourself that award. I can call myself that too. Okay. I can say that. Anybody can say that, but like, we just believed it for whatever reason. And, none of the other teachers talk shit on the other teachings. That's ego. You know what I'm saying? Because if you were here, you would be in abundance, and you would know that there's enough for everyone, because you create your own reality. So if you are fearful that other people are teaching and taking your money or whatever it is that you're in your ego about, then bro, come on. And look, he's been with his twin about like 6 years or something. So he was not in this fourth wave, or so it's like there was one thing, like his twin didn't awaken, right? And so he thinks that's the way it is for every single twin. So I created a limiting belief by believing that my twin was not going to awaken. And as I started to awaken, and I realized I wouldn't want to date somebody that's still in the 3D. I would only want to date an awakened person. It scared me, because I still was wanting my twin, but I thought, well, he's not going to awaken. I don't want to be with him. And it was really confusing. And as I started watching all the other teachers and I started getting a lot of information from my own spirit guides about the waves, I really wanted to get this cleared up, because I see people twin flame channels in their couples, right? And I'm like, but they don't awaken. It really messed with me. So my spirit guides, okay, basically in the fourth wave too, especially the third and fourth, we all came for different reasons, right? So if you and your twin decided before you came here that you were going to awaken each other and do a purpose together, then that's what will happen. But if you came here and you and your twin decided that he was going to just awaken you and he was not going to awaken, then that is what's going to happen. And some twins awaken and have their own purposes. Some do it together, some don't really awaken. It all depends on your specific one. So you can't just say, oh, because mine didn't awaken, none of the other ones do. Because if he's noticing, he can't just say like, well, I've noticed throughout the years, all of these masculines awakening, right? Times have changed, okay? Just accept it and move on, that now some of the men are awakening. Some of the masculines are awakening. Because mine's going through an ego death. So I know, so it's like his didn't awaken. And you know why? Because if she did, she'd leave. You know what I'm saying? And that's why. So that wasn't the way they were set up, But so you'll know as you get higher up where if your twin's gonna awaken, if you guys are gonna do some work together, or because your guides are clear. And it's like these other teachers, it's not like they're like, oh, I'm gonna go on here and teach about twins and I don't know what I'm talking about. No, they're teaching it in their way because their spirit guides are telling them that this is their purpose and they have to help now. They've made it and now we have to help, okay? So it's not like they wanted, I didn't want to do this. I fought it to the end. I did not want to leave my career. I loved bodybuilding. I mean, the universe literally forced me out. When it forced me, literally, I got a fucking broken foot. I had knee surgery because I didn't want to leave, you know, and once I got here, I realized I had this rapid awakening for a reason, to give it in my way. And so I learned something from everybody. We're all here. We all have been called to do it. And there's a reason, because somebody needs to learn in their way. That's just how it is. Sorry, bud. Sorry you started 6 years ago and things have changed, okay? Suck it up. But yeah, and it's like, first of all, quit calling yourself the masculine. You got it all figured out. Like, you're the feminine, buddy. Anyways, okay, so don't get stuck. Listen to this shit because he has some good info. It kind of gives you that way to kind of feel, you know, it gives you a lot of info, but he's full of shit also. His plug. And also you'll know, like, you'll realize, like, all these other teachers, their videos, they move along forward. If you notice, his don't, because he hasn't gotten here. He stopped at his twin and didn't keep going up. So he has no new info. Every single time he says the same thing. Oh, you know, what do we all agree on? That we're the same person. Blah, blah, blah. He just tries to make you confused, and he's condescending, and it's really, really wrong. If you're trying to actually help people, why would you, what? Bruh, nah. I ain't how it's gonna go. So anyway, don't get stuck in believing, because as you get higher, you're gonna know. You're gonna know everything, because once that heart merger happens, you can literally feel what they're going through. It's bizarre. See you on the next one.